Friendly Fire, Fabian Perspective, and AllBall TV. Marcellus Wiley totally ethered Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. gets a salute from all, especially me, because I respect his work ethic. But right now, and a lot of people are seeing it right before our very eyes, no love and no respect for your ethics. Work ethic, ethics, because you are set tripping. And it's starting to catch up to you. You are not going to make Max look bad. You know why? Max ain't even tripping, dog. He's not saying a word about this stuff. Max and I are different, bro. I talk about everything, but I don't come at cats like that. I just tell you how it is. But I'm always going to tell you how it is. But now you're trying to tell me how it was. But more importantly, if you really listen closely, I know, and others are catching you, you're really telling us how it wasn't. It wasn't like that, Stephen A. Max wasn't the problem, man. The problem was you didn't get over the things that you went through growing up or on the show with Max. And T.O., all he did, and Skip Bayless is right on this one, he obliterated that. He came in with that joke, and that joke hit, because every joke got an ounce of truth. And in that situation, it had a key for you. So, Stephen A., man, we got love for you, dog. We really do. But you ain't going to get more love out of us hating on Max. Hating on him because he's white. Hating on him because he's smart. You even told us why you hired him. White. Why you hired somebody because he's white? First thing he said was white. I was like, oh, this. Because you wanted, read between the lines, part of people. He wanted him to be that, to prop him up. And this is my last point. I knew all of this all the time. But I knew there was going to be a moment where Stephen A. was never going to just bury it and let it be. And then he would avoid moments like this with me talking about him and this weekend, etc. Is when he went to the, I think it was Jackson State, but the HBCU. And he had on the Do the Right Thing jacket. And everybody was like, yo, that jacket fresh, which it was. It was dope. But just the fact, just the fact that he wore white to the wedding like that, I was like, he got a real issue with this, and it's gonna come out sooner or later. And like we all see right now, it ain't dead with Stephen A. So kill it, man. Kill the noise. Kill talking about Max. In this respect, prop him up, dog. You hired him. You asked for him. Y'all wanted him. Trust me. The way and the much as y'all paid him, y'all begged him. Look, it wasn't hard to beg him because Max wanted that money. Max about that dough. That's why he didn't come at you harder, because he was like, I don't want career suicide. And look what it is now. All ends well in this story because Max is still under contract till next year, into next year. So he can slow play this situation. He can let everybody just keep talking noise. He's still going to the mailbox, getting mailbox money. So don't feel too bad about him. But Stephen A., man, just keep it real about the dude, man. Either that or keep them pads on. Just know you starting to dress other people up and they ready for battle too.
This was bad. He broke, and when I tell you he ethered him, that's an ether, what you just heard. Ether. If you ever heard the song Ether, Nas is talking to Jay-Z like, my child, I watched you grow up to be famous. And I still have love for you. You sold your soul for riches. That's what it feels like in a way, because look what everything Stephen A. Was Marcellus Wiley saying. He's pointing to Stephen A.'s insecurities. Why are you that insecure? It does come off that way. Because there's, like I said in the previous reaction to Stephen A. being on Joe Budden's podcast and reacting that way, it's, again, you're talking about Max Kellerman? And Max isn't really going to come out and talk about this, I don't think. I don't think so. And because of that, I think Stephen A. is going to come out and either go on Marcellus Wiley's show, invite, call him out, or respond to him on his own show. Because this so far hasn't grown any legs because of the fact that Marcellus Wiley isn't as big as these guys, popularity-wise. But I respect Marcellus Wiley for just trying to be honest and just being himself. He's silly, he's a little goofy, and to me, that's just, he's a breath of fresh air in terms of just the transparency. And he's still guarded, but you can tell even he's getting a little out of character defending Max Kellerman. This is personal with Marcellus Wiley. You can hear it because usually he doesn't get this way, but he's telling Stephen A, bro, you wanted him this to be a black and white thing. You brought Max Kellerman on thinking he should be dumbed down. You thought he was going to be the white guy, like the white token guy for you, and it didn't turn out that way. And he came off like he was more knowledgeable about, race relations in this country and the history of this country. And that's all I've ever said about Max Kellerman is that he's actually really super smart, and he doesn't fit a show like First Take because First Take is just a bunch of headlines for the most part. And you have to speak in Twitter form, you have to speak in headline form, and only certain people can pull that off with that kind of personality. And you can tell with, let's say JJ Redick comes off the same way in terms of he's supposed to be the super smart basketball guy. But when he's on First Take, he is not like that. His viral moments on First Take is with, Kendrick Perkins and himself being salacious. And I don't think JJ Redick lacks charisma, though, but there is a certain presentation that JJ Redick has, and Max Kellerman doesn't, especially for that show. And of course I'm comparing them because they're white. But even look at Jay Williams. Jay Williams to me is like, he's kind of awkward on TV, and where he struggles is like, I think I can see the work with Jay Williams, right? I can see him thinking on camera about like what I think of him. That's how I feel when I watch Jay Williams. It's not totally comfortable. Even when like his best moments are the transparent moments. When him and Stephen A were going back and forth, and Stephen A told him, you can say whatever you want. And he was kind of threatening him. And that was his moment to go at Stephen A, and he didn't, and he still works there, by the way. Max, according to Marcellus Wiley, was challenging Stephen A in his own Jedi kind of way, and Stephen A couldn't handle it, obviously, on top of the fact that it didn't fit the First Take format. Because 1 second Stephen A. Smith, by the way, again, totally hypocritical. 1 minute, First Take didn't spend a month going up in viewership, ever. Nothing ever stopped this locomotive of First Take. It always went, the numbers, the viewership always went up every single month. That would include Max Kellerman being there. The next second, he's on Joe Budden saying it's kind of stale. So it was stale because there was no real... the only time there was tension between him and Max Kellerman came through Terrell Owens. Right? So, I think it's a shame for Stephen A to just continue to go down his path with Max Kellerman. Again, to recap, I think that Max Kellerman is not going to respond, but not out of fear of Stephen A. Smith as a person. I just think he's, even in that Terrell Owens clip, you can see Max Kellerman saying, all right, you got that, Stephen A. Like, you go handle that. Like, I can't get in between that kind of comment, and there's no way that I can't co-sign that, can't double down what T.O. said, and I can't really help you out because I can't really speak from that standpoint. And Max, according to Marcellus, that's his way of battling is a Jedi mind trick kind of way. So, he's just up to his old tricks. He's a politician, and you can see here Marcellus Wiley, again, a close friend of Max Kellerman, not trying to totally speak for him. I think Stephen A. Smith is gonna try to spin it that way, in a sense. But he should have just stopped talking about Max. There's no need to talk about him anymore. That's it. He should have congratulated him. You're just, I don't get it. I don't see the win in this. You have Shannon Sharp up there. I say he's constantly contradicting himself, and ESPN clearly sees. It's just like Draymond Green with Golden State. Flagrant things are taking place. There's a bunch of flagrant fouls taking place, but for some reason you keep them around. The money's there. I always feel that about the NBA. If Draymond Green is on the Charlotte Hornets his whole career, Charlotte Bobcats, slash Charlotte Bobcats, I don't think he's kicked out of the league by year 7 if he pulls the same shenanigans. Because what are you really enforcing in Charlotte, right? Like, what are you really defending? You know, all those shenanigans will be put to rest and kick you out of the league because there's no real ticket from you. You know, defending the Splash Brothers, along with, you know, you being a lunatic on the court, it seems like, is everything. So Stephen A. Smith is flagrantly fouling Max Kellerman, you know, and it is what it is. I think they're all grown men, older men, and probably all grandfathers by now. They can handle their own. But tell me what you think. Fabian Perspective, live and direct. Fabian Perspective, friendly fire on AllBall TV.